My name is Michael Oladile, PhD. I'm the Director of Bank Examination Department of the NDIC. NDIC stands for Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation. The program has been quite impactful. You know, like I told some of my colleagues, for me, it's not just another program. But from the beginning to the end, I see it more like a mentoring, session. Because each of the faculty members have come to mentor and how to think strategically. What inspired me most, I'll tell you, is the way the program has changed my view, of how I'm supposed to, carry out my assignment, my job role. So arising from this program, I now know that I need to focus more on the bigger picture with this strategy and do less of, practical things which could be led to the reporters. And that presupposes too that I need to train them. I need to identify competencies. I need to deal with those who are willing but unable, train them by way of capacity building. And if there are people within my teams, who are willing and able, it means they must be encouraged so that they can continue to be part of the 20%, 20% of the organization that is able to build value, for our internal and external stakeholders. Thinking strategically is, for me, the key takeaway from this program. As a leader, you have to think strategically. It means you have to now discretionarily allocate, higher proportion of your time, because time is a resource that's limited. You have to, as a leader, now allocate a higher percentage of your time to taking strategic decisions. When I get back home, I'm going to reorganize myself. It will start from me. The change will start from me. Reorganize myself, look at those redundancies that fall within the realms of tactical, operation, then find a way to win myself out as much as possible from that, by developing competencies in my staff who can take on that while I think strategically. I'm going to further pursue, automation. For me, in the last couple of years, part of what we have been thinking about, how do we automate processes? For example, in my department, we develop a program we call, Bank Examination Department Block. So arising from this program, I now see the opportunity, to use technology like, generative IT to further, improve on that application.
My name is James Maman. I'm the Acting Director of the Financial Institutions Supervision Department at the Central Bank of Nigeria. The most interesting thing about the program is the choice of the team and its timing, and of course the faculty in terms of the resource persons, their backgrounds, and their level of experience and the delivery of the various lectures. What inspired me the most are the major issues and the topics that were presented. In terms of those things, probably I thought I knew I was doing rightly, but unknown to me, the learning has given me an insight to understand that I'm actually on the wrong track. In this case, what are the major takeaways? Those issues that have been brought to the discussion, how they are going to improve my processes, how they are going to make me to be more efficient, how they are going to help me deliver on the major KPIs of my organization and for the department in which I'm leading. What ideas that have transformed are the major takeaways. For example, I've been able to understand as a strategic leader, I should be more concerned about thinking about the future, at the same time living the daily and operational activities to my subordinates. I give them the enabling environment for them to do their jobs, and then at every level within the organization, there are people that have responsibility to think strategically, and so I'd cascade that down the line to ensure that all of us together, we both achieve our strategy. What I'll need to do differently is to act and behave differently when I get back to work. For example, I will expect to give my colleagues more opportunity to express themselves, to work at the levels, and of course, while keeping an eye on the bigger picture to ensure that we both achieve our objectives. I will also allow people to work in a manner and leverage on technology to drive our processes, because that's a major challenge that we have, by ensuring that while we need to deploy technology, we'll bring it on board to help us achieve efficiency and to work in an optimal and a most efficient manner.
My name is Akinwumi Lawal, MD CEO of MPF Microfinance Bank PLC, Lagos, Nigeria. Yeah, the program has been very interesting, exciting, knowledge sharing, and it has actually brought about a greater insight into what leadership is. Leadership is about looking futuristics. Leadership is about looking at the future, and leaders are paid to think strategically. And the most inspiring thing that I want to discuss is that for me to be able to build a very strong team, the middle management must be empowered such that they have capacity to implement they should have the capacity to implement the organizational strategy. Most also very inspiring is about cyber is about people creating awareness and ensuring that adequate investment is put into it. These are quality things that the training has exposed one to, and really appreciate that I'm a partaker in this training. It has actually been very inspiring and absolutely knowledge enriching for me. Willing and able. I should be able to have a crop of staff that have the capacity and they have the ability and they're willing to transform the organization. Yes, ensuring that leadership thought and action are synchronized. Ensure that that the strategy of the organization and actions are complementary to one another, so we can deliver on superior performance for the organization. That is one good thing that I'm taking away from here, to ensure that we don't only have the strategic thought, we also be able to align actions to implement so that we derive an effective performance for the organization.
My name is Nkese Kukigam. I am the board secretary for the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation. What I like most about the program is that it's thought-provoking. It stimulates your thinking. It's not just a theoretical program where you're learning about, the theory about leadership and strategy. You're forced to think, actually focus on it and what leadership and strategy mean in the digital economy that we are all operating in. I think what has inspired me the most is having to learn about the difference between being a strategical leader and a tactical leader. What we found out is that even though you're in a leadership position and you find out that you're more involved in the tactical aspect of things, just making sure that things are done the way they're supposed to be without devoting enough time to the strategic thinking, and then actually trying to find out if you're focusing on if what you do actually fulfills the purpose of your role. I think we've learned a new word, being a busy fool. So you're now forced to examine yourself on a daily basis. Am I what I am doing? So I'm really busy, but is my work fulfilling purpose? Am I actually being strategic, or I'm just being a busy fool, busy doing all the things I'm not supposed to be and leaving, the things that I ought to be doing? So that's very insightful for me. It's the whole aspect of having to focus more on digitization. those were, I mean, it was a concept I was familiar with, but I hadn't paid much attention. So this has brought this to the fore to me. I've had to, like I said, pay much more attention to it. What does digitization mean? So for instance, it's digital transformation is not just about acquiring, the hardware. It's about the software. It's also about collaboration. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to do everything. So for instance, when they talk about AI, you don't have to go, learning coding and programming. Just have the basic knowledge and then collaborate with those who are the subject matter experts in order to, bring efficiency to your work. Well, I am going to have to embrace technology a little bit much more. I'm going to develop my technical competence. I'm going to have to learn more about it and be more open to adopting technology and try to see how it's going to work. And then of course I'm going to be definitely more strategic, leave the tactical aspects, delegate that to middle level management, and then see how digitization can improve efficiency in my work, and how we're going to onboard the whole ESG concept in digitization, how that would affect ESG, and a whole lot of, so I have a lot of work to do when I get back.
Texem, insights that inspire, actions that change the world.